Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth.
Go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Today, I get to introduce someone who has been one of the brightest personalities in our community. So he joined about a year ago, came in breaking even or sometimes losing small amounts, but he never stopped showing up and putting in the work. All right. And when things finally clicked, the transformation was unreal. So he went from grinding for consistency to stacking multiple $1,000 wins daily, every day. And he's taken his trading to an entirely new level. But beyond the trading, he's generally one of the funniest guys we've ever had in the community. Everybody loved his humor, his positivity, his intelligence, and just the energy he brought every single day. Honestly, he made our community better just by being part of it. So everyone, please welcome Weeda.
What's up? What's up?
So thank you for joining us today. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask you is basically, can you start by sharing a little bit about your background and what first got you interested into trading?
Yeah, sure. So if I go way back, my parents didn't really invest. They didn't teach me investing. I started working. I'm in IT. I've been in IT for years. Do a lot of, I started out doing basic computers, fixing computers, eventually moved into information security. It's kind of the realm I'm in right now. But as time went on, I started plugging money into my 401k, didn't really know any better other than, this is a good way to save some money. Probably over the last 10 years kind of is when I started to think a little bit more about trading and get into trading myself. Was never in a Discord before, wasn't in any trading groups, never took any training on it, didn't really know much about it. Honestly, it was your TikTok videos that kind of got me going on it.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems funny because, half my kids' friends are like, wait, your dad's on TikTok? Well, yeah, I'm on TikTok. Of course I'm on TikTok.
Right.
So I started watching a lot of your videos, ended up getting, TradingView for charting platform. I got Webull. I'm on Robinhood. Started watching some of your trades and listening to what you were doing. And I was like, man, when he's calling out those levels, they're actually hitting the level and then doing what he says they're going to do. And I'm like, this is crazy. So that's why I wanted to join your group. And it's been amazing. I mean, I've learned so much just from joining your group. I did a year when I joined. I started out, did the whole year. A lot of the thing, charting, watching the levels, not getting impatient, not getting in trades as a guest, getting in trades based on when you should get in trades, looking at the levels, things like that. So just really a lot that I learned from you and being in the group, and it completely changed. Over the last year and a half or so, I've completely changed how I look at stocks, how I look at long-term trading, how I look at day trading. And as you know, I started getting into a lot more of the swing trading too, looking at stuff where, I'm doing an option that's a week out, a month out, maybe even a January 26 option. So that's kind of it. 10,000 foot view, I guess.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. So what challenges were you facing before joining the community and learning with us and trading with us?
Yeah. So I think, a lot of it, I would look at the news and see hey, this stock is in the news now and it's looking good. I should get in. Realizing that, well, now it's too late. You can't just go based on the news and say, hey, this is a great stock. Let's get into this stock and then get in. And, I'm watching over the next few days, watching it go down 2, 3, 5, 6%. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought this was the new thing. I thought this is what we were supposed to get into. Yeah. So that's kind of, a lot of my trading was like that. Or I would just go into, just some basic stuff like say, I'll just put a bunch of money into Amazon and just kind of leave it there. And, it might go up 1% that month. It might go down 1% that month. So really just realizing that wasn't the way to go for trading. It wasn't going to be I needed more knowledge. I needed a knowledge base of what to do, what to look for. And that's kind of what what got me going was getting in your group and realizing that, okay, there's a big knowledge base out here, and I need to be part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's actually like a good segue into the next question, which was going to be like, after all that, like, how did going through like our live classes and like our daily education sessions, like, how did that impact the way you look at the markets now? And you mentioned like you used to watch the news like CNBC. I feel like they're chatting a bunch of shit. I don't know.
I agree. Yep. No, I mean, and I think, just watching some of the training videos that you have, you might have like a 4 or 5, page PowerPoint presentation or whatever you're doing it on, and I'm watching these and learning from them. One of the key things that I did, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't like to read. I don't read. I don't buy books. I love cars. I read car magazines. I've read them for years, but reading books, things like that, I'm not really into it. So, one of the first things I did was grab, one of the books that you were talking about. I don't remember if it was Mark Minervini's or one of those books.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to read it. And started to realize that, hey, I actually love this. I love the stocks, and I love learning about trading, and I feel like I can do something with it someday, more so than just blindly putting my money in and doing nothing. So that's one of the things I did, is I grabbed the books and started reading them, and realized that even though I don't like reading, stuff was so interesting. Like, I look over and it's like, oh, it's been 2 hours. I've been reading this for 2 hours, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things. It's just, reading the books and talking about, like, you would point out, hey, here's a good book, and here's where I learned a lot of my stuff from. And then, you guys are doing those training courses, and it just kind of gets you excited to learn more. So, I would jump on the Sunday, I almost said cars and coffee, the Sunday stocks and coffee. And just, I had an alarm. I'd go off every time. It's like, hey, go jump on this. And if I didn't learn, every time I learned something, it didn't matter what it was, and I feel like as much as I started to learn and know, like, I know what I'm doing now, I'm still jumping on, and I'm learning from you. I'm learning from others in the group. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. And that's a good point you brought up too. Like, I was just talking to Cece about, like, hey, trading exposes who you are, and then it helps you to grow on this personal development journey. So at first, like, I thought, like, maybe I never read, like, in high school, Cliff Notes, right? I was like, I don't read. And then I started reading some of these things. I'm like, maybe I just like to read what I'm interested in. I never was interested in some of that other stuff, right? All right, so that should be good.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we were talking. We were like, yeah, it helps you on your personal development journey, and like I realized I do really like to read, right? And then not only that, but there's, like, as a trader, when you first start, you don't know what you don't know, because you don't know where to start. There's so much.
Yes.
There's so much. So that's why I feel like that's where I'm coming from when I'm trying to help other people. I'm like, yo, like, all this stuff that's online is just like fancy smancy. It's like a mirage. I don't know. It's like weird. Like, no one's actually going to tell you, like, what to do. So I was like, I want to just tell people. I'm just tell people, if they listen, they listen. If they don't, then that's fine. Like, that's cool. And yeah, I was like, all right, let's help people get straight to the source. And I was like, I read this book, but it took me like 3 years to find out what book was actually good. And reading all these 4 Dummies books, and those 4 Dummies books are for dummies. They don't work. They don't work. But yeah, I found those books, and I was like, yo, let's go.
Well, one of the things too is that I really liked is that in your some of your videos, you'd say, if you want to join the Discord, join. If you don't. I don't really care. Like, I thought that was so funny. I'm like, he really doesn't care if you join his Discord. Do it if you want to, but don't if you don't want to. He's not like trying to make money by joining. It's just do it, And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do
it. Yeah. Because at first I was like. I kept seeing those Discord things, and like I joined a couple Discords when I first started, and it was just like call outs, and I was like, all right, this is not me. I was like, I'm staying away. I was like, I'm never ever going to do one. I'm never going to join one.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to just post videos about it on TikTok, and then people were like, yo, make a Discord. And then I made a free Discord, and it didn't go well because nobody was serious. They weren't serious trading. And I was like, all right, let me weed that out. Let me make it like a little bit of money, and then
Yeah,
and see if people want to join, they join. But
for
if not, like,
sure.
I'm just gonna post on TikTok and keep doing this.
Yeah.
But it became a pretty big community. It was pretty nice, and
Yeah.
it's been
Well,
great.
and as you know, I've invited a bunch of people and they've joined.
Yeah,
My daughter joined. I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like you're going to get such a great base. I still remember it was like my second or third trade based on being, on in the morning when you were doing your live. I sat there and I was like, this literally paid for my whole year in the Discord on my third trade, and it wasn't even like a big, crazy, scary trade. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And
yeah.
have other people join. My daughter, she loves it. She's learned a ton, and what I would like to do is it sounds like a cheesy term, but generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
I would love to make enough where I can teach everybody in the family how to do this, how to build wealth, even if they're just doing the basic, like, I'm going to put $100 into SPY, $100 into QQQ every month, or $10, whatever. It could be the most basic investing. But, I think when you get to that point, you start to see it. It starts clicking, and you're like, okay, I'm focused now. If I'm making 10,000 a year, I'm putting 1,000 away. If I'm making 100,000 a year, I'm putting 10,000 away.
Yeah.
And just learning the basics and kind of going from the ground up. And I feel like that's really what you helped me is I knew a lot of the basics. It was getting to that next level where then it's like, okay, now I'm finally getting it. Now I see what I'm doing, So
Exactly.
I'd like to get everybody in the family to that point, and their future families too. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely a great motivation, like kind of the reason why everyone's doing it. But it's also because like we like trading, and we're I feel like a lot of the successful traders, and I was talking to CC about this too, is like we're competitive. We're competitive, and we're willing to put in the work though. We're willing to put in the work, and that's kind of what separates like the people who will like quit versus like the successful people.
yeah, absolutely.
And then because we're competitive and we're determined and we're consistent and like we're motivated, we're essentially going to win.
Agree. Yep.
You brought up a good point of, as well about like okay, and then I started to get it. So what was there a specific aha moment when things really started to click for you? Because you've had amazing results, including like some 6 to 10K weeks or days even. So what do you think contributed most to that success? And was there a specific moment for you?
So, I don't know that I could just pinpoint one thing, but I would say one of the key things is learning patience, which I'm terrible at. I'm not patient, right?
Yeah.
So, being patient. So you don't need to trade every day, right? Monday comes and it's like, all right, I got to get this. I got to get this. I got to get this. And my initial thought was, I want to make, $100 a day every day. And I might make $100 one day and I might lose $100 the next day. And it's like, I start looking back, like, did I take that trade? Was it a smart trade for me to take that trade? Did I need to take that trade? Some of the things like that I've learned is along the way is like Fridays seem to be volatile, right? So at one point I told myself, you know what? I'm just going to sit back on Friday. I'm just going to sit back on Friday. And, it's not to say that everybody should. It's not to say that Fridays are always a down day. It's just with time you start to realize some things and tell yourself, okay, be patient, wait on that trade. Like, here's the key level. And it's like, sometimes I'll see it like it's going up. All right, I'm going to grab it now. Key level's here. I'm going to grab it now. Right. And it gets up to that key level and it comes back down. Oh, well, I just lost on that. That was a dumb, so I think that's a lot of what it is being patient. You probably know behind me, I got my charting platform up on my computer. It's up all the time. I have all the key levels. I used to just put my key levels in there based on what you would have for your key levels. All right, where's the key level? And you'd say, well, it's right here, it's right here. All right, I'm going to put it there, right? So I started to learn, how to set my own key levels, how to look back at, not just the 15-minute time frame, but I'm looking at the 2-hour time frame. I'm looking at the daily. I'm looking at the weekly. So any of the stocks that I'm interested in now, I have levels on pretty much every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned how to, put a little alert when it gets to that key level. Alert goes off. Okay, let's take a look at it. And then have a little bit of patience. Watch that 15-minute candle close. Is it going to close above? And where's the next candle going to open up? And, so nothing's perfect. Nobody's perfect. No matter how much you know, you're never going to win 100% of your trades.
Exactly.
So I've learned another key thing, I guess, in addition to patience is cut your losers early.
Yeah.
Let your winners run.
Yeah.
Right. So there's times where, okay, I'm down 20%, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Felt pretty good about that. Okay. It was a good trade. I didn't want to lose anymore. Mm-hmm. The next trade, I'm up 20%. All right. I'm up 20%. I'm going to take my profit. And then it's like, okay, but I lost 20 and I gained 20. That's not how we want to do it. And then I would backtrack and look at what did the stock do for the rest of the day? What did it do the next day? What did it do for the week? So I realized that I wasn't letting some of my longer runners run. Like there's days where you're going to look back and you say, the entire day was an uptrend, right? QQQ went up, up, up. It did this all day long. Why did I sell right here? Mm-hmm. Same thing on some of the down days. It's like I never took puts before joining your Discord. Right. And you start learning, well, what is it? What do you do with the put? What's it look like? Where do you want to take it? What's the level? And you get in there and take profit too quick. I was just saying, so when you're in a put and sometimes I might get out after 30 minutes. Right. And it might be a 0 DTE trade. It might be a 1 DTE. It might be a 1 week out put. Right.
Yeah.
I'm getting out after 30 minutes and then I sit back and I watch the rest of the day and it continues down all day. And then I have to look back and think, what made me get out? Really what made me get out was fear, right? That I was going to turn around and go the other way. It wasn't because I charted it perfectly and it hit my key level, because it does hit the key levels, as you know, and as you've always taught. So yeah, I mean, just crazy. There's so there's lots of things. I think that's a couple of them though.
For sure. So yeah, levels, patience, setting alerts, and then letting. That's a really good one of like cutting your losses early, and then letting your winners run.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
and then trading can be tough mentally. So how has your mindset evolved since you began your journey of trading?
Mm-hmm. And I think that goes back to, again, what I touched on, a key one being patience. That's a mental thing. If you're getting in a trade too early, before you should get in, it could burn you. If you're getting out of trades too early, instead of letting the winners run, right? You're getting out too early, and then you look back and you're like, I did a swing trade that was 30 days out. And it had one good day and I was up 20%. And so I took my profit and walked away. I've had trades like that where I've actually looked back and they've run 600 to 700%.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's mentally, that is tough. And so you have to become mentally stronger, to where if you lose $100, don't look at it as losing $100. Look at it as, maybe the trade didn't quite go my way. Maybe I got in a little bit too early, but I walked away. I learned a quick little lesson and look back and see what you did right, what you did wrong. Sometimes you never know. Trump could put a tweet out there. Yeah. The entire market could tank. The entire market could take off. Those are the things you can't help, but a good 8 times out of 10, it's going to be your patience. It's going to be your knowledge. It's going to be your key levels. So does that kind of answer what you were?
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Definitely the whole mindset of like evolving. Like at first you might think like, oh man, like, oh, I'm a trash trader. Like what the heck? But then you come to an understanding of, okay, well, what did I do incorrectly, and did I stick to my rules? That's what kind of matters. And then you go from there. So you build from there.
Yeah, and that's true. You say stick to your rules. I mean that's really true. And that's when you can look back and say, did I stick to my rule? What would have happened had I stuck to my rule? You and I know we joke around on that forum a lot, and might say, okay, I'm I'm going to take this trade. Don't anybody else take this trade, but I'm going to take this trade. Because you know it's not within your rule set, but you're like, I'm just gonna, like I'm up $1,000 right now. It's been 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm gonna throw 200 at this. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. I don't right. Not the best way to trade. It's fun. Sometimes it wins. It's kind of like taking the Lululemon's going to report earnings, right? Let's do an earnings play. I think it's going to go terrible. Let's go ahead and do a put. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. You can do it, and I've done pretty well with those. I mean, not like I'm some earnings whisperer, but I feel like I probably am getting 7 out of 10 of those right.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just it's looking at the levels, it's doing some research. They're not the best. It's a bit of a gamble, right? but it's fun. And again, if you're looking at the levels, and they might tell a lot of the story ahead of time.
Yeah.
And allow you to do a play like that. Just a little bit of money just in case, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Yo, that's hilarious. You said that. I forgot about that. Yo, oh my gosh. I don't feel like anyone is like doing that right now, like in the group, like I don't think anyone's like, yo, like just are you doing it? Hey, let's go. So yeah, I missed that because I know, bro. July was like my second best month this year. July was insane.
Nice.
And it was some of those days were some of the days where I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna do an opening play. I think I see something. Don't follow me.
Yeah. well, remember, you and I got into an open door call when it was at 78 cents.
Oh yeah, bruh.
Huh? I mean, again, that's one of those plays where you risk a little bit because it's a risky play, but we're doing it for a reason, right? We see something, and there's a reason we got in on it. But we could have. I mean, I look back at what I initially had in Open Door at 78 cents, about $10,000, and we know what it's at now. It's about $6.70 or something crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I look back at trades sometimes and I'm like, I could be living in Bali right now.
Yes.
Chilling with the homies.
I know, it's insane. And that's true. I mean, that's another thing that gives you that, you can do it. You can get there. I mean,
exactly.
People that do, there's a lot of people that I'll follow and I'll watch and see what they do. And you can get in those trades and, not really even if you're doing it right, you're not gambling, right? Like there's some that we joke around with Open Door. Let's do a $500 option on it, right? And that probably turned into $5,000 in 2 days or whatever it was, right? Yeah. But yeah, some of those things can be life changing, and I firmly believe that at some point in the near future, whether that's 6 months or 6 years, I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, you know what? This is where it started. This is where I'm at. And I killed it. And I followed my rules and I learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to happen.
Exactly.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. 2 things you just mentioned that I think completely, like I think a lot of people need to understand when it comes to the mindset of trading, and that will turn you from being probably like, oh, break even, or like not doing good at all, and like you're not getting it, to successful. The first thing you had mentioned was that you're going to one, you're convicted that you're going to get there. You're convicted you're going to get there, because if you're not convicted, then you're kind of playing in fear. So there's only fear or faith. That's the two kind of dichotomies in life. Either you're fearful and that's going to cause destruction, or you're faithful, like you think you're going to get there. Like I'm going to get there. So that yields positive results.
For sure.
And then the other thing that you had mentioned, oh dang, what did you just mention? I just forgot. So you're faithful. Dang, what did you do? Oh yeah, perspective. So perspective. So you probably noticed as well the way that some people talked in the forums or even online. The way you talk is going to be a reflection of who you think you are. Mm-hmm. And that comes to as a person or even as a trader. So some people might be like, for instance, I just mentioned like, hey, there's some trades that I know we could have been in Bali, right? Yeah. While you look at that as something positive and it's like, oh, I'm right there. I'm hopeful. Like it's giving you motivation. Others might look at that as like, dang, like I can never get this, or I can never hit that trade. And I would see people in the group, and you probably know who, but like some people in the group who are like, oh, like I keep missing this, or I keep missing this. And it's like, that's who you believe you are. You believe that you're someone who's going to keep missing trades. You could turn the perspective around and say like, oh, I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm always in the right place at the right time. It's just a matter of time before I hit it. So I think that's what made you and a lot of people who are successful traders successful is your perspective on things, your mindset, and then your conviction that you will get it done. Okay, yeah. So just one more question here. So I think you answered the other question, which was going to be the last one, was like, where do you see yourself taking trading from here? What's next on your journey? And you had mentioned like you think you're going to look back at it. Is there any other anything else that you think? Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. Anything else that you think in terms of like where you're going to be in your trading journey?
Yeah, you know, I think for me, it's getting to where it's even beyond just me and my trading journey. It's teaching the kids, right? So they've learned so much just from me, and you know what I've learned from you and people in the forum, and you know some of the books that I've read. Is I started really late in life, so I started investing what I would consider really late, and I think had I started earlier, I'd be in Bali right now, right? Like we were talking. But I started late, but you know what? The kids are not too late, right? So we got 21-year-olds, we got 18, 16. They're in this early, right? So from the time they were really, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, started teaching them like, listen, I'm going to put in $1 if you put in $1, and we're going to put this in, you grow your little account, right? And over time, all of a sudden, it's like there's $5,000 in there. You know, you can actually do a lot with $5,000. So beyond what I'm doing and earning for myself and the money that I'm making, right? A lot of it that I'm making right now, I just see it. It's kind of like paper money. It's just going to be in there until I'm ready to retire. You know what I mean? So I'm not out buying Lambos. I'm going to buy a Lambo someday, right?
Yes,
but
sir.
not right now. Right? I'm still stacking that bread, right? So really, it's just teaching the kids how to do it, how to invest, not just save, but save and invest, right? If you're just putting the money in your checking account, it's doing nothing.
Right.
Just keep investing over and over again. I would love to see them retire when they're 40 years old or sooner, and just be able to enjoy life, enjoy their kids, without the worry about, you know, paycheck after paycheck, like living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
It's getting tougher and tougher these days, right? So jobs, you're not making as much at your job. Cars are getting more expensive. Housing's getting more expensive. Even more important now to invest smartly and learn all this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So for someone who's considering like joining the group, or someone who's considering starting trading, what like final piece of advice would you give for someone?
Yes, I mean, you know, I would say if someone is considering joining the Discord, you know, I know a lot of times you'll do like a free week, free 7 days or something like that, just to get people in. I know for sure that the minute somebody does that and they get in on that 7 day and they sit back and they listen and they pay attention, I know they're going to see that you know what you're doing. I know that they're going to see that there's a path forward, right? And like I said, I think I started out with like $500 in the account when I joined, and I think it was like day 3 when my first trade made me enough to pay for the year on the Discord. So you know, I think just do it, just join. And I'm not saying this for any other reason. I think it's going to be really helpful for anybody that joins. And that's not to say join any Discord, like you said. There's a lot of them out there. They're just in it to make the money. They're not really teaching anything. You know, they might call something out, but join the Discord, learn from it. Even if you just do it for 1 month and then sit back and think, okay, what did I learn? You know, get back in and learn it. Save 10% of your paycheck, whether you're making $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $100,000 a year. Always do what's called pay yourself first. Take that little bit out and invest it. Next paycheck, take that little bit out and invest it. Live on the rest, right? And the more you can learn, the more you can read, learning on the Discord, you're going to be happier. You're going to retire early. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Guido, for your insight, your knowledge. Again, really, really proud to see your growth. It's been insane. It's been inspiring. And then, like I said, one of the funniest people of all time, bro, all time. So,
man, we have had some fun. We have had some fun, and I appreciate you. I mean, no joke. You got me going. You got me reading. You got me learning. You got me to the point where I am at right now. So I appreciate you. Happy to help out any way I can, and love you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.